Thank you for your interest in EnviroChem services. This presentation will introduce you to the technical aspects of wetting phase technology, WPT, the first eco-friendly well stimulation system. To show the fundamentals of phase wetting technology in porous media surfaces and the results of its application in oil well stimulation operations. The crude oil, especially heavy oil, is difficult to extract from the reservoir, due to its high viscosity and API gravity. This situation becomes more complicated if the reservoir rock is naturally wetted by oil, as is the case in the Orinoco heavy crude oil belt deposits. Under this condition, crude tends to be preferentially retained in the rock. Obviously, this limitation is less for reservoirs of light crude oil. The application of the THF reverses this limitation, increasing the production and productivity of the well. The phase wetting technology on surfaces of the porous medium is an unique, proprietary product, recently developed and tested by our research and development team, between 2007 to 2008. The basic idea is to facilitate the displacement of the hydrocarbon phase, gas or crude, within the surfaces of the pores, near the hole, by creating aqueous saline interfacial films in the porous medium. The hydrocarbon, crude or gas, will always be in contact with the film and will not make contact directly with the rock or crude films that are adhered to the surface of the rock. This way, the hydrocarbon will move more easily through the surface of the pores of the reservoir rock, increasing production. We have formulated a stimulation fluid, capable of changing the wettability to water wet, of the surfaces of the porous medium in the reservoirs, through the creation of aqueous saline interfacial films, that facilitate the preferential flow of crude oil against water, allowing to increase the production and productivity of the wells. Additionally, the fluid should be able to clean the formation and the production circuit. Originally, the rock is moisturized to oil wet by the natural surfactants, represented by the red arrows in the graph. And here, the injection of the stimulation fluid, containing hydrohumectants, black arrows, changes the wettability of the wet oil rock, red lines, to water wet, black arrows. These are the components and functions of stimulation fluid components. The main function is the water wetting agent and secondary functions are, de-emulsifier or phase separator, organic and inorganic fine dispersant, pH stabilizer to ensure the proper functioning of the fluid, also the high-strength ionic force. The dispersing capacity of the stimulation fluid allows it to penetrate and clean the formation pores interstices, also the pipes and production lines, ensuring an integral cleaning of the whole. The interfacial film, generated by the stimulation fluid, is an aqueous solution of anionic organic and inorganic salts that adhere to the surfaces of the naked rock or on the surface of the oil adhered to the rock, asphalt NS, resins, heteropolars, paraffins, and waxes, generating. The stimulation generates sliding surfaces for the hydrocarbon, increase in production of the hydrocarbon phase, a decrease in interfacial viscosity. This graph illustrates the transport of the hydrocarbon fluids through the porous medium covered by the saline film generated by our fluid. In this table, the physical properties of our stimulation fluid are summarized. How the stimulation fluid interacts with the environment. Is environmentally innocuous, 100% biodegradable, and non-toxic at all. Stimulation fluid can be applied either in vertical or horizontal wells. In verticals, is applied by a pump truck, via annular, or by the production pipeline. In horizontals, the work is done using a workover rig and or a coiled tubing, trough the slotted packing in the horizontal section. Our fluid was tested in a permeability return test, with a reservoir nucleus, with the petrophysical characteristics, conditions, and properties of the crude used for the test, corresponding to the site in the eastern Venezuela. The table here shows the results of that test. This image presents the result of a test, highlighting the permeability return, including the stimulation by effect of treatment with our fluid. Benefits when using stimulation fluid. Increase in well production and productivity, for about 8 to 12 months. The cleaning of the producing formation near the hole and the production flow circuit. Fast return on the investment. Extending of the re-intervention time of the well. This graph represents the stimulation fluid application in vertical wells. At the FPO, in the scenario of shallow and low pressure wells. In the case of deep, high pressure vertical wells, the application would require the use of coiled tubing. This graph represents the stimulation fluid application in horizontal wells of the FPO. As shown, it can be applied using a workover rig or a coiled tubing. It is necessary to extract the completion to the heel pipe hanger of the heel piping or the slotted pad, in order to penetrate the horizontal section. This is the representation of the IPR curve for a FPO well. Here is clearly depicted the effect of the application, generating an increase of the production, Q, and the productivity index, IP. Another example of the IPR curve, here depicting another well of the FPO, the increase of the two parameters mentioned above, Q and IP, can be appreciated. The third example of a well of the FPO, with the application of the stimulation product, where the increase of important parameters, Q and IP, can also be appreciated. It is important to highlight that these wells are considered of very low potential, however their response to the stimulation with our product was very good in all the three applications. What do we need to prepare a technical and financial proposal? Mechanical status, well completion. Geology and petrophysics of the oil-bearing formation. History of production and work in the well. Recent production tests. Fluid levels and characterization. This is the optimal criteria, considered to select the candidate wells, for the application of the stimulation with the WPT in the FPO. However, that may vary in other fields, depending on the well status and oil field characteristics. The intervention of the well by the operator, safe closing of the well, closing of valves, etc. Installation of the workover rig or unit of coiled tubing, CT. Removal of the completion to the slotted liner hanger. Introduction of the drilling string, with tailpipe and disperser at the tip, or the CT to final MD to verify the non-existence of obstruction. Connection of fluid lines from the hot oil to the workover or to the coiled tubing. Injection of the fluid according to the program elaborated by Optimization and/or Production Engineering Department, 1.5 to 2 BBL/min, 400 psi, 80 OC. After the injection, leave the well to soak for 36 hours before bringing the well to production. It is recommended to use our stimulation fluid in return, as a cleaning fluid from the production circuit, lines, manifold, separator, etc. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Please do not hesitate to contact us for any question about this or any other of our products and services.